A very good morning to my respective lecturer, Madam Hanani, and my fellow friends. My name is Nurul Izzah, together with my partner, Nurul Amni. This morning, we would like to concentrate on case study towards Malaysia Airlines. During the next 10 minutes, we will be covering about background of company, COVID-19 issue, company reaction, lastly, improvement and recommendation. First of all, I would like to give you an overview of Malaysia Airlines company background. The airlines began as Malaysia Airways Limited, which was established in Singapore in 1930s and flew its first commercial flights in 1947. Its operations were divided into separate national airways after the separation between Singapore and Malaysia in 1966. Malaysia Airlines is one of Asia's fastest growing airlines. Next, their mission is to make Malaysia Airlines one of the leading standard bearers for the airlines industry in terms of safety, efficiency, and quality of service. And then, Malaysia Airlines vision is to become an airline of excellence by offering the very best to its passengers in terms of safety, comfort, service, and punctuality.
Now, let us take a look at the next subtopic, which is the COVID-19 issues during and post-pandemic. As we all know, during the grave year of 2020, many businesses were affected and received the economic impact. And Malaysia Airlines was not excluded, even though this airline is one of the top airline company in Malaysia. Therefore, in this section, we will discuss about what happened to MAS during and after the pandemic, and what the horrible disease of COVID-19 had done to this airline. Of course, there are a few problems that had occurred during and after COVID-19 to Malaysia Airlines, which are huge number of flight cancellation, low demand for air travel, and loss of new customers. We will go through each of these issues one by one. Huge number of cancellations. Many countries restricted travel and closed their borders to stop the spread of COVID-19 disease. Because of this, many people who had planned early to travel to certain destinations had to cancel their trip as no foreigners were accepted to enter the nations. Unfortunately, this has led to a mass cancellations of flights of Malaysia Airlines Berhad, and a huge number of refunds were requested by the customers. Next, let's take a look at the low demand of air travel. Many loyal customers and people who love to travel underwent a behavioral change that makes them to start purchasing Malaysia Airlines ticket. This is due to COVID-19 crisis where majority of individuals were affected economically. The travel restrictions and rules also played a part in this issue. Hence, even after the border was open, many opted to not travel for a while as some were still scared of catching the disease, and some just felt like it was a hassle to travel because there was COVID insurance, COVID tests, and so on. This has resulted in a dramatic drop in demand for Malaysia Airlines. The next issue that MAS had to face was the loss of new customers. COVID-19 created the biggest impact among the passengers around the world. It caused a large loss of customers for Malaysia Airlines Berhad. Many people now decided to go for a cheaper airline for travel purposes and choose other forms of transportation such as train to go to the neighboring countries like Thailand. As MAS ticket prices remain expensive, many new customers could not afford to make a purchase, thus making MAS to suffer more loss. And the last crisis that Malaysia Airlines was forced to face is that they are unable to provide the best service due to financial crisis because they no longer receive profits nor monthly sales back then. Because of this, MAS was unable to provide the best service to its customer like it used to. Lack of staff due to retrenchment had forced the existing staff to work long hours, became tired, and was not able to give good service to the passengers. Before the financial crisis, MAS also was very generous in giving freebies, but during and after COVID-19, they no longer do that. This has tarnished MAS' reputation as a whole.
Then, I will focus on how Malaysia Airlines handled those issues. Successful airlines with exceptional reputation like Malaysia Airlines Berhad must do many extraordinary things to maintain the public perception and its brand positioning. There is only one thing Malaysia Airlines did to handle the issues mentioned by Amni just now, which is by giving full refund to their customer. Due to the continuous impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, Malaysia Airlines customers were entitled for a full refund rather than rescheduling the flight or accepting a travel voucher. The requirement followed by the air travel law is to provide cash refunds on demand. Apart from that, with little opportunity to do business, the airline's funds began to run short. It was one of finances running dry. Rumors indicate the airlines was reaching breaking point. It could shut down if it was not able to restructure immediately. So at here, what I intend to do is to tell you about 3 improvement and recommendation from our POV as consumer, which are apply sensory marketing, upgrade mass technology and services, lastly, use marketing communication tools.
Applying sensory marketing in the perspective of a customer and imagining myself as a customer or targeted customer, I believe that Malaysia Airlines should have applied sensory marketing. Considering the issues they were facing back then, it is important to get back the customers and regain the profit they lost. So it's more like a 2-in-1 technique or a win-win situation here. Because when sensory is applied, the targeted audience will undergo perception process and that will make them think of Malaysia Airlines and recalls all the good memories they have when they were traveling with Malaysia Airlines. When I say e-hailing and food pop-up store, this is definitely something that customer would have liked to use because there weren't much e-hailing services in Malaysia back then except Grab and AirAsia e-hailing service. So if Mas had done a e-hailing service, Mas could have used scents that are similar to its airline. So when people use their service without them realizing, Mas is actually making them think of the airline and encouraging them to purchase their flight ticket from Mas. Food pop-up store is a great alternative that Mas should have done. Most people will enjoy and remember a great in-flight food as they spend hours there in the flight. Therefore, potential customers will be able to taste Mas signature in-flight food. This will create the desire for them to board Mas for the first time. For existing customers, they will also be impacted by this sensory marketing and will suddenly have the urge to purchase Mas ticket as they miss their moments when they were on air with the airline.
When trying to attract customers to use the services, Malaysia Airlines should have distanced themselves from other airlines. The company was supposed to ask themselves what makes Malaysia Airlines different. Therefore, the answer to that is to upgrade mass technology and its services. This is because in-flight technology is the most important function on which has direct effect to customers. Malaysia Airlines should have undergone a digital transformation, readying itself for a technology-driven future and for delivering a better travel experience to its passengers. This is a part of hedonic consumption as it will affect the consumer psychology and purchasing behavior. Next, to keep the good term relationship with their customer at ground, Malaysia Airlines should have introduced new service line. One of the way is launching mass application that provided food delivery service. Therefore, the airlines will be able to offer great services that help people. For example, during COVID-19, many were still scared to leave their house. Hence, if Mas has introduced these new services, people will be able to use the service and feel grateful that Malaysia Airlines is offering alternative services to help them during the difficult time. On top of that, Malaysia Airlines should have also offered hotel booking services to its customers. Most travelers had to book their hotels through third-party websites. This is because there is no such service provided by airlines itself. Therefore, Malaysia Airlines should have provided this service to increase customers' interest.
Last but not least is to use marketing communication tools in order to attract customers and to remind the existing customers to use Mas when they are traveling. Mas should have used Marcom tools such as sales promotion and advertising. Mars should have offered huge promotions to customers instead of maintaining its expensive price with no good deals available. Nowadays, people are more attracted to what the brand can offer. Mars should have offered promotions to its targeted consumer and influenced the audience psychology. Promotions are not necessarily by lowering the price ticket, but Mars could have done is like giving 50% off for the second purchase of tickets or receive free mass merchandise for ticket purchases above 500 ringgit. This is what the consumers want. By doing so, mass will most certainly be able to maintain their sales, and if the customers are satisfied with their experience while boarding mass, this airline could also gain profit, recover their lost financials, and increase their sales revenue in less than 2 years. Advertising should have also been in their recovery plan list. Although Malaysia Airlines has a good brand positioning within its consumers and is one of the well-known airlines in Malaysia, advertising is still important for the brand. Lack of advertisement makes people easily forget about MAS, especially after 2 years of lockdown and pandemic. If Malaysia Airlines allocated and spent their funds for advertising, it will help to increase brand exposure and gain customers, be it new or existing. Other than to remind customers, advertising is great to educate the potential customers. After COVID-19, many people were still scared of getting the disease. Hence, MAS should have educated them that MAS will regulate the standard operations procedure and other preventative measure for their passengers. By doing so, people will be safely assured and want to purchase tickets from MAS. As a customer, I would definitely need reassurance that air travel is safe, even though flight is closed and compact space. I would be worried about catching COVID, but if I see mass advertisement educating me about their SOPs and their safety precautions they are implementing in the flight, I would certainly want to book from mass. Alright, that is all from us today. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!